Many people agree that Detroit needs a second bridge crossing to lessen the delays for cars and semi-trucks. I'm Jason Rzucidlo, reporting in downtown Detroit. Now let's find out what the people are saying. Now, how often you go over to Canada?
Not that often, maybe a couple times a year.
Yeah, about twice, 2-3 times a year.
Okay. And what's your opinion on the new bridge proposals?
I think it would be better downriver. I think to have people down there have access, closer access to it.
Okay.
I believe that'd be a lot better too, downriver. Give us little people that's from downriver a chance to get on the bridge. And Matty ain't been taking care of the train station, so you know how he's doing the bridge here.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people downriver take a lot more care of it.
Because as you mentioned, the current owner, Matty Maroon, said he wants it right next to his bridge. What do you think of that idea?
Well, I think it would be better downriver. I don't think it's a good idea to have two right there. I think, traffic congestion, I think kind of space them out.
I believe the same thing. Space it out to, like I said, downriver. People don't have to drive through all the traffic to get into Detroit to cross the bridge. And it's already a hassle trying to get onto it anyways. So that's my opinion. I'd say take it downriver.
Now, when you go over to Canada, do you take the tunnel or do you go on the bridge?
I usually take the bridge.
I'd take the bridge also.
Very good. Any other comments here today?
No, I think they just need to build it downriver.
I agree. Downriver all the way.
Okay. And now, what do you think of the current bridge situation? Do you think we should have another one right next to that one or 2 miles south?
I think it would be more convenient if it was right next to this one, as the freeway is already built, to have that as a hub, to have another point of entry or access. Just might be a little bit more confusing if they're both going to be open.
Okay.
I mean, I'd have to agree, but not being a resident of Detroit, it's hard to say otherwise.
Okay. Now, how often do you come here to Detroit?
Like 2 or 3 times a year.
Okay.
This is my first time here.
Oh, okay. Now, have you ever been over to Canada, either the tunnel or the bridge?
Both, yes.
Okay.
Many times.
What about for you?
No.
No. Okay. And when you do go, which one do you prefer taking?
Usually the bridge, just because I come from 96 and it's just easiest. But depending on delays and stuff, I might take the tunnel. It just depends on the route.
Okay.
Not applicable.
No.
Have you ever noticed like a long backup on either one?
Not really. I usually go at night, so I don't really recall like huge issues. Maybe on a Saturday night there'd be a lot of traffic in the tunnel.
Okay. Danielle Matty Maroon is the current owner of the Ambassador Bridge and the Michigan Train Central Depot located behind me. He wants the new bridge to be located right next to his current bridge. So how often do you go to Canada, first of all?
When I go to see her family.
Okay, once a year?
How many?
A few
times, yeah.
A few times a year.
So what do you think of the new bridge proposal? Should it be right next to the current one or maybe 2 miles south?
Right next to it.
Next to it.
Why would you say that?
I don't know.
They can just make it right next to it, and then it's easier. Like customs is already right there and everything, so they don't have to tear down other stuff.
All right. Have you ever been on it when there was like a backup? You know, you had to wait a long time?
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah, it was horrible. Yeah.
So do you prefer the tunnel or the bridge?
I like tunnels just because it's cool, but I don't know.
The tunnel. I feel safer even though it's underwater.
Any other comments here today?
No, not
Go
really.
Detroit, go Canada.
Yeah.
How often do you go over to Canada?
Say once a month.
Now, do you prefer the bridge or the tunnel?
The tunnel. It's less traffic.
Now, the proposal for the second bridge, do you think it should be right next to the first one or like 2 miles down?
I say it should be right next to the first one because it's keep the main flow of traffic right next to each other. You know, Detroit's congested enough. You know, why make more traffic and more help for everybody?
Okay. Have you ever been on it when it was like congested or backed up?
Oh yeah, it's the worst mistake I ever did. From that day on, I took the tunnel. I should have kept to my first route.
Very good. Any other comments here today?
Detroit's a good place to live. Born and raised here, and that's about it.
Here's what Governor Snyder said about his new bridge proposal.
Well, the Canadian Fund's matching is, we already have a letter to that effect, that works. So we're in good shape with respect to using those matching funds. The only question left on that is, until we get the project going and using those funds, we can't use them as matching funds. But in terms of the theory, the approach, the Federal Highway Administration has given us a letter to that effect. And we're working hard on the bridge project overall in terms of it moving forward. And I think you've seen some great support coming out from the auto industry and other people already talking about the need for the new crossing and how we can work together. And what I'll tell you on the bridge project is I always view it as not just a bridge. It's about international trade. It's about supporting all our crossings, including the Ambassador Bridge.
So how often do you go over to Canada?
I haven't been there in about 4 years. I used to go to Leamington, Ontario all the time.
Not often, because they always give you, it's a hard time to go over there. But I can see it every day. I can see the Canadian Bridge.
So now what is your opinion on the new bridge? Should it be right next to that one or about 2 miles south?
First of all, I live in Ecorse, and it'd be a good thing for the business that I work at because all the truck travel that comes through there, and it might bring more business to my place where I work at. And as far as she's concerned, you have to ask her that question.
As far as I'm concerned, we have the Ambassador Bridge there, and then you've got it already started, so why not finish what you already started, all right? They've already bought out whatever they can. I live in the old part of Detroit. I call it the forgotten part of Detroit. I live right by St. Anne's, which is the second oldest Catholic church in the United States, and I just assume they just keep on continuing right there. Okay. They already spent enough money. Let's just finish it. Yeah. That's my opinion.
Have you ever been across when it was like a backup or, jammed up?
Yes, I have many times. About 10 years ago, I used to go there. It was always slow travel going through there. Yes, it was. That's correct.
I watch it all the time. I can see the bridge from my house. I watch the backup coming into the United States, not Canada. I see that it's more backed up coming here than it is. And I live right there by the Michigan, the Welcome Center. We live right there.
Okay. Any other comments here today?
My son.
Well, I hope they continue to have another bridge to stop the backup wherever they're going to build it, by Fort Wayne or by her home, whichever. They need some more easy access to get across to Canada to make people to come back and forth. You agree?
I'm happy with my neighborhood, but I just wish they would figure out what they're going to do. Okay.
However, Governor Snyder wants the new bridge to be located 2 miles south near West Jefferson and Livernois. Reporting in Southwest Detroit, Jason Rzucidlo for AmericaJR.com.